He's one of the most popular figures ever in Greater Cincinnati. Tonight, how the old left-hander got it started.
Just last week, we remember the heroes of D-Day. When Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, the world was at war, and America needed men to fight, not to play baseball, which is what brought the Cincinnati Red Scouts to Hamilton.
I'm assuming that they were just looking for anyone that had some ability, and I was a big kid, about 6'2", and weighed approximately 190 pounds, so I could throw hard.
He was also only 14 years old. The Reds wanted Joe's dad, but he had 5 kids to feed, so they kept watching Joe. And they signed him a 15-year-old junior high left-hander who looked like Opie Taylor. It was June 10th of 1944 when Reds manager Bill McKechnie invited Joe to dress and sit in the dugout at Crosley Field. Joe said he had a great seat. He was watching a slaughter. Stan Musial and the defending world champion Cardinals were beating the Reds 13-0. It got to the 9th inning.
All of a sudden, Mr. McKechnie tells me to go warm up, and all of a sudden this wasn't near as good a seat as I thought it was.
He got into the game, got the first man out, and then walked 5, hit 1, gave up 2 hits and 5 runs. His debut was 2/3 of an inning. He was all but forgotten until he came back to the majors 8 years later. He would go on to win 135 games, and when he was done, he really got famous. He and Marty Brennaman were a classic pair on Reds baseball. They developed a memorable shtick with Kroger, and he was still on the field decades after his debut, hitting fungos and throwing batting practice. I asked him in 1994 if he was still throwing the ball well.
Pop, I told you this before. I throw this as high as I ever did. This doesn't get there as quick.
Hamilton Joe, the old left-hander, Nuxie. He was part of Cincinnati well beyond that teenage breakthrough. But it was this kid that has provided one of baseball's enduring trivia questions. Who was the youngest? It was Joe Nuxhall. He came on the scene 75 years ago today.